Hello, folks. Welcome to Satisfactory. My name is Joel Duggan, if you haven't figured that out already. And we're jumping right back in where we left off yesterday, which was learning about trains and how they work, and how wrong I was about how to manage the throughput rate on trains. Lovely member of the community, Spoopy Poots, had schooled us. Very politely, I might add, in the fact that we weren't getting as much out of the trains as we should have been. I also discovered that I wasn't bringing in as much coal as I thought, which has got nothing to do with the trains. I just didn't have one of the miners turned on. So we're going to jump in. I've disconnected the scavenger train altogether, and we're going to try and balance things out. First, though, I need some fuel. So we're going to go ahead and ride the conveyor belt here, because my jump jet ran out of juice. So we go get some fuel for the jetpack. Finally get to catch a stream backbiters, or bitters, I guess I should say. Thanks very much for being here. And Wilder Than You Are. Glad you like the podcast. Which one? I do too. I'm assuming you mean the Spun Chunks, because the Spun Chunks is the more popular of the two, but there's also the Citadel Cafe for folks that are so inclined. Don't need those. You can probably ditch a few things here. I don't need those or that. Try to get a little bit of extra room here. Should be good. So get extra. Let's try to bring three of these, and we'll switch back to that. Not sure why, but whenever I hear Citadel, I'm thinking Rick and Morty. I've never watched Rick and Morty. Useful stuff. I braved the Red Forest and made a hurried belt run to avoid the spiders. Oh man. We don't go up in the Red Forest very often anymore. Now that we don't have to. Sweet Sandy. Thanks so much for the tier 1 sub. 9 months. That unlocks the Fire Keystone badge. We've got a whole bunch of badges to illustrate. We've got 1 year, 1.5 year, 2 year, 2.5 year, all the way up to I think 4.5 years is the highest badge that we need to illustrate. So we're not going to take the train. We're actually going to take the buggy over to the train station. Are you an organized Minecraft player? Yes, I'm an organized Satisfactory player as well. Fox Nakamori. Always good to see you, of course. Lurk. J Price. Thanks very much to the Lurk. I need to fix this road. I know it's temporary, but it's terrible to drive on. Good to see all the regulars here, the normal folks for the Satisfactories, and welcome to the new people as well. Started listening to the Spun Chunks on my way to work. Was a bit of a hassle to find you. Why was it a bit of a hassle to find me? My social media and everything is my name. I'm confused. This spawn started in the Northern Forest. That away. Oh, with an I. No, it's clearly... all their stuff is clearly linked on the Spun Chunks websites. That's all there. So this is all disconnected because we have to install the buffers. But installing the buffers means moving a lot of stuff around to make it feasible. So I also have to eliminate this because this is wrong. We have to unhook this because this is supposed to be coal. I've got 2 coal cars because each one of these coals is 600 a minute, so we can't have them coming into the same system. So it has to go across to here. This is the error that I was narrowly avoiding yesterday. Alright, so that should fill up that. We need to get rid of all of this. Make sure this is coal, which it is. Need to make sure that both of these are coal. That's coal. That's empty. It goes coal, coal, and then copper, and then iron. And then limestone, as a matter of fact. And it looks like both coal trains... Not going to let me see what's in it, is it? Yeah, you can't see what's in it in autopilot. That's fine. Are we going to have Mumbo on the Spawn Chunks? If Mumbo would like to be on the Spawn Chunks, that's a possibility. We don't exclusively interview Hermitcraft people. We tend to bring on guests on the Spawn Chunks when it is appropriate to have them. So, really good example is Henrik Nieberg from Mojang. Really good opportunity to have him on this summer because, of course, the work that he's doing is paramount on Caves and Cliffs Update. So we wanted to make sure that we had him on at the right time. I'm going to switch over to the hover pack, I think, for here, because we've got power everywhere. Goes up to there. The other one would be here. Mr. Rocket, most people just say hello. Is it like people ask to be on the podcast, or is it you invite people? Most of the time, it's us inviting people, but a number of the developers listen to the show, and they've reached out and said that they'd be happy to be on, or say like, oh, you know, like if you ever want me to come on and help explain things or whatever, just give me a shout. I think Henrik was one of those people, but it's not like they've announced it publicly. What they've had conversations with Johnny or myself. Like I've talked to a couple developers and they've mentioned to me that they would love to come on the show, so I'm sure we'll make that happen, but we also don't want it to be just developer stuff, and we also want to make sure that we have enough time in between interviews to make sure that we're covering the news and all that kind of stuff. Right, that's the copper and that's the iron, so the copper goes in next. And so we need to get that down to that level. And that is 1, 2. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I don't like using these, but right now it's the easiest way to get this organized. Whoops, that's the wrong spot. There we go. Next Minecraft stream is on the weekend. The schedule is on the Twitch page. I generally play Minecraft on the weekend because that's when most of the audience for Minecraft is around. And it's when I have the most time. It also lines up better with the spawn chunks because then I can... what I've got going on is then fresh in my mind. In terms of what I've been playing and what I've been doing in Minecraft. That kind of stuff. Two, three, four. Go back and double check that this is the right speed. It's not. All right. That should take care of that. Got the copper is only 300 per minute, I think. Building an efficient factory as possibly as yeah, building the factory as efficient as you can. Plus, there's other fun challenges and creative building options, and there's so many different ways to do something in the game. That's one of the things I like so much about it. That's a Mark IV, Mark IV all the way down. So there's, for people that are new. Each one of these belts have a different speed, and so I'm just making sure that the speed is matching the amount coming out, and that looks correct. Now all of these I want to be Mark Vs. So that's a Mark V, Mark V, it's all Mark V. This needs to be hooked up. Mark V, Mark V. Alright, last one is going to be this one. This is going to be pretty straightforward. Don't have to do anything too fancy with this, which is nice. Put the buffer here. Don't know what the speed is on this. I think it's just normal. So I probably don't have to worry about a buffer. Yeah, 120 parts per minute. I'm not sure where my my markers went. I had like labels and stuff, but is this storage that you're building? So what's happening is, and you'll see it right here. Whenever the train comes in, we learned about this yesterday. I knew about the delay, but if you watch, if this thing stops, it might not stay very long. Eventually we'll see this happen in game. No, okay. So if there was something for it to unload, there's an unload animation and then a reload animation, and that takes about 30 seconds. And what that does is interrupts the flow of items into the storage. So what we're doing here is creating storage units, but they're buffers. They're meant to kind of like continue the flow into the units while we're waiting on things. So what I've got to do now is just create another one of these. There. We'll upgrade that to tier 5. I don't think we'll need both, but we're going to put both in right now while we're here. We might as well. Because this is doing so little that I don't think it's going to need it, but for the sake of argument. And not having to do it later. Whoops. And then we just have to hook this back up. Cool. Yeah, there's something that's, you know, it definitely scratches that itch. Like if I'm doing a lot of creative building in one game and I want to do some technical stuff, I can generally bounce over here and play Satisfactory. Is there a tech tree? Yeah. Yeah, there's a tech tree. Yeah, so you start off with like basic belts and that kind of stuff. And you gradually move up from there. So that's all ticking the way that I want, and I'm not hooking this up on purpose because I don't want these to have anything in them, because I want to try to empty the stores that we have on the other end. Except for this one. This one doesn't matter because we're not using that on the other end. But we'll double check coal, coal, copper, iron, limestone. Remember that order. Take off the old hover pack. That's the other thing, you don't start off with any of the transportation buffs either. And normally I take a break in this game when it turns to night, but we only just started, so might as well just keep on going. Really want to make enough aluminum to set up to at least have my hover pack soon? Yeah. Yeah, the hover pack was a nice unlock. I found that the zipline was really handy in traversing and looking for hard drives. Buggies are a fun unlock too. Not so much on concrete platforms, but when you're driving around in the world on dirt and stuff, like they're essential. All right, so we're going to double check the order that the trains come in. That's the Bone Crusher train. Now we're supposed to try to put buffers on this end, and I don't think I have the room. But looks like I have the order correct. Looks like there's 2 coal, copper, iron, and then I should paint this one yellow or limestone. That's what's going to be in it. Now here, I want to make sure all of these are empty. Now, weirdly, this is not connected. So some of these don't go anywhere. We've got 4 belts of coal, and I need to kind of figure out like where they're coming in and out of. It's going to be difficult to do at night. There's the 2 belts there. then there's these two belts here obviously come out of this one. So we've got 3 belts of coal. And now that we've got extra paint canisters, I'm going to go ahead and paint these black. We always know what we're looking at. That is coal, coal, coal. This is completely unnecessary, but just when it starts to get complicated, it helps to keep organized. So there's all 4 belts of coal. And these 2 belts are not used. Alright, so that's 4 belts of coal. So now we just have to figure out where we can get storage buffers for both of these sets, which we could do. I guess we could start to put some storage buffers down here. This doesn't look like it's meant to be. This space here could be useful for this kind of thing. If we needed to. I might just hold off on it for now. But what I wanted to do was just double check to make sure that there's no other item on these belts, because we want to make sure that they're all coal. These are currently empty on the bottom. So shouldn't they be hooked up to something? Oh, that's just not. That's good to know. What about this other one? You're connected. Ah, you're not connected here. So again, we've got coal, coal, and then coal and coal. So the only thing we're going to be able to do is the max amount of coal coming in, and that is going to have to be determined by the other end. So now that we know we've got 2 coal, copper, iron, limestone, we have to go back and hook everything up. Good entertainment while you're waiting for a tow truck. Oh, that sucks, Sandy. Sorry to hear that. I'll put this back on. Oh, do I have enough gas in this thing? Oh yeah, okay. Good. So now that we know that the amount is correct, we have to figure out where it's all going. Last flat you had, you put the spare on at 5 a.m. Ooh. Most of the cars that I've driven lately don't even have a spare. They just have patch kits. I'm not sure which I prefer. Alright, first things we need to do is have a better access down here. This is garbage. Let's get rid of this. And let's just go with something convenient right here. I'm going to go with maybe a ladder. That's too close. Whoops. Alright. That'll do. So now we can hook these up. Once we... Yeah, I need to go down and double check the... Oh, wow, that's blinky. Let's look over here. I normally leave little beacons around. So if you look at the map, you can see all the beacons. And what that allows me to do is say, like, you know, what's coming out of each node. It's like a little marker. But I can't find it. I don't know where it is in this area. I can't seem to find the actual unit because I don't think it's right. Well, it's overclocked to 300 a minute. Alright, well, it's right. It's accurate. I just can't find it. So that means we're going to have 1200, not 900 coming from here, because we've got 300 per minute, 300 per minute, 300 per minute. I thought there was a fourth coal line here. This guy's doing 300. That's a Mark IV. Switch back to the hover pack. That's a Mark IV. That's 300 going into another 300 line. That comes from this guy. Here's a beacon. This is what I was looking for. Coal, normal, 300 per minute. I think... Oh, it's because it's a different color. I got the color wrong on that one. I color code everything, so it's easy to catch up on, but I obviously neglected to put the right color here. What do we put coal as? It's probably a dark 0.05. Alright, so this is doing 300. This is doing 300 per minute. So that's 600 going onto this 600 line. We want to make sure that no more is joining this line. This bottom coal line has to be its own thing. And I think it switches over. That goes over this way. So it's the wrong speed. That has to stay. So it's this one here. Okay, that's all right. That's all right. So then this top one should be just this one here, which is going to be 300 a minute, so we can actually switch this back to the belt that does 480. It'll still only do 300. So it's a 480 belt, 480, stays 480. Then it jumps to be 600. So let's just keep it. Whoop, save lag. If you like this game, you must have played Factorio. I've tried Factorio. I do not like Factorio. I didn't like the graphics. I didn't like the gameplay. I didn't like defending my base against attacks. So, I can see the similarities, obviously. And you see a lot of Factorio players and Satisfactory players streaming online. I like Factorio with mods. The no biter mod is nice. Is the no biter is that like a mod that means that nothing attacks your base? All right, so that's 300. That's 600 going along here. This is all the right speed, and that goes in there. Okay, so now we've got 12. 1, 2, 3, 4 times 3. 600 iron, 300 copper, and 1,200 coal. All going back towards the Devastator base. Alright. So I feel comfortable. What we'll do is we'll do it right after the train leaves. We'll start putting in the inputs. That should take care of the inputs here. We don't have to worry about this. This is now working as designed. So now we have to race back and hook up the other end. It's a 3-minute and 40-second round trip. We know that the buffer here is fast enough. Just I don't have a buffer at the other end, but we're also not using the coal for a whole lot. The coal is being used in aluminum, and that's not our aluminum bottleneck. Water is the aluminum problem right now. Basically sets the enemies to peaceful and sets the spawn rate to stupid low, so you might see like 2 and 20 hours of gameplay. Oh, that's cool. I like exploration in this much more, being first person and all. Yeah, I prefer the first person as well. I find this more immersive. I like games like, if I'm going to play a top-down builder, I'm probably going to play City Skylines. Actually, if I do like colony builders and stuff, I like Oxygen Not Included. I find that a funny little game. I should play that more in the channel, but I just haven't had time. Alright, so we go back over to the train station and we have to do these 4 belts. Make sure they're all hooked up. Thought of trying Dyson Sphere project, but not sure yet. Yeah, I don't know, I saw that too, and I don't know if I want to do it either. So here's the issue with these train stations, in that I do kind of want to move them because of the issues that we have with space. I might be better off just having 2 stations on either side of the middle, but spacing them out a little bit more to give us more room, and then adding a 2nd floor, which we do have space for. But right now, what I want to do is make sure we've got this stuff all hooked up. So these are coming in at, it's 1,200, so we need belts that total 1,200 as well. So 4 tier 4 belts will handle 1,200. Question is, so we've got 2 belts of coal coming out there. We're going to follow these 4 belts as they go. Just to wait for the train to come back. I guess we can hook up the other stuff too. How did this go? Well, that's a Mark III. Copper is how much per minute? 600? 300. So we don't need 2. So there's some of the loading animation. Sorry, I should have watched that whole thing. Alright, so now we've got... Why is that not moving? Belts are full. 4 belts of coal. Don't need these. Don't need these either. Give it a second for the coal to fill in. We're going to make sure that the coal goes all the way to the end. I'm going to double check what's going into the aluminum and make sure that we're sending enough coal in there too. I have the Dyson Sphere project. I've played some of it, but that learning curve is steep. I also didn't really enjoy the graphics. I find it, I kind of got dizzy with it. Same with Before You Leave. When the curvature of the planet you're on is too small, I find it a little bit much. These are all Mark IVs. That's good. I guess I should be traveling down here so I can see all 4 belts. This hover pack does come in handy when you want to go slowly but travel at a height where you can see everything. So everything here is going well. I know that the 3 of the belts aren't moving, but that's fine because I think I'm only using 1 of the belts for the aluminum. I just want to make sure that the coal gets all the way to the end. Because we're going to artificially send it into a awesome sink. Right, so there's 1 belt of coal. So 2 belts of coal are going down there. And then the other 2 belts end here. So we've got to find a space to stick a temporary awesome sink. That'll work. We put that. Let's put you right there. Actually, let's go down a little bit. And then we can do a merger. And then we need to bring these probably there. Logistics. Reds, hello, how's it going? And then this one will curve around here. And then all we have to do is just plug this in. And there is power over here somewhere. This is just a temporary fix to keep the coal moving so it doesn't get backed up. Plus, we'll get a few extra ticket points for it. That's fine. And that should be operating at the speed at which those two belts are pumping out coal, which is 300 a minute apiece. So now I have to figure out what we're spending on aluminum. Do you like Transport Fever and stuff like that as well? I've never heard of Transport Fever. Is it another, like, balancing game? Like, production balancing? So there's our two coal lines. These are both Mark IV. That's Mark IV all the way around. They go straight through here. And one coal line goes up. And the other coal line goes down. So we'll take a look at the bottom one first. Bottom line goes here. So that's 300 coal going in this line, and should be 300 coal going in the top line. And that feeds these three. Now how much coal do these need? 120 coal per minute. So they need more than 300. So this is 360. And this is 360. So I've never been putting enough coal into this, which I think is something I knew. So we need times 6 or 7. 720. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah. Okay, so there's 7 of these. So we've got times 7. 840. Right, I thought I had 900 coming in here, and I don't. That was my miscalculation before, so that's part of the problem. You run a transport tycoon, and you got to bring resources in other factories and cities. That can be done by air, land, water. Cool. There's drones in this, too. I haven't gotten that far, but you can use drones to transport stuff by air, too. Classic transport simulation genre has a new gold standard with Transport Fever 2. Discover a whole new world by navigating transport routes through land, water, and air. My progress and prosperity find their way. Nice. What's the one that I'm playing that you guys might like? Industries of Titan? Same problem, though. It has things that attack your base that I didn't like. It's very pretty, though. It's very cyberpunky. Alright, so we need 840, and we're sending in 600. So that's a problem. What we're going to have to do is somehow get a third belt in there. I mean, we can run extra belts down through here. This won't look as nice and tidy. Not that it really matters. That's also not useful. Because 900 would be more than enough. We would also try to find a place where we can actually connect those. So I can get a belt in there. Question is, where would I be able to get it to join in? So an extra belt would be 300. I'd have to change the way this works entirely. We can't fit 840 on one belt, because 780 is our limit. Industries of Titan, yes. I think it's on Epic. I don't think it's on Steam. It is complicated. But it's fun. Downgrade them for now? What do you mean downgrade them, Sandy? Downgrade the oh, the refineries, I see. No, because the rest of the facility is based on the output, right? It's based on the 360 aluminum scrap per minute. Because 360 times 7 is 2520. And I know if I divide 2520 by 28, it's a perfect number. So that's what's happening on the second floor. So that I can't downgrade them just yet. It's a good idea. That's an excellent solution. You're right. Here's the other problem, in that we do have an alternate recipe for aluminum. I might have to come back some other day. We can actually, this is just a refinery we have down here for stuff, but we have sloppy aluminum, which is bauxite, water, no coal required, no water output. Oh no, wait, that's the aluminum solution. Aluminum scrap. Okay, so I don't have an alternate scrap recipe. I thought I had an alternate scrap recipe. X is the codex. Oh, I do. But it still involves coal, sulfuric. Yeah, that's right. I remember now. It's terrible. It's a lot of stuff. It's like a blender. Right, I remember that now. When you have pure, you can skip this step. Yeah, I don't have it yet. This is a fairly simple fix. It's just not going to be attractive. That's the problem. That's fine. I would have to do... So a third belt would come in here. We would have room to run it along here. Then we just have to connect it to these two lines, which we could do that in this space. It would just be a temporary fix. Okay. Well, I know that my refineries aren't running top speed anyway because they back up on water all the time. See? So it doesn't really matter. So we're done there. Thanks, Will. Appreciate you hanging out. Always good to see you. Safe travels. It's on Steam, though? You mean Steam 2? Yeah. I usually mention Epic because I have an Epic creator code, but yeah, I mean, Industries of Titan is a cool-looking game. I'm pretty sure I own it on Epic. All right, well, that takes care of the coal problem. That takes care of the... that takes care of the train issue and the iron issue. Copper is still a problem, but we'll worry about that when we need it. So I think the next phase is going to be to look at this building and see how many crystal oscillators we're going to make and how many reinforced plates we're going to make. I don't really know how many reinforced plates to make. Oh, what's your Epic code? I might put that in right away. Oh, for sure. Thank you very much, Backbitters. It's Joel Duggan. Joelduggan. Same as the Twitch name. So for any participating games in the Creator Code program, or the... I think it's just called the Creator Program. And much appreciated. If you're looking at Satisfactory specifically, you can do bang Satisfactory code in chat, and I think Nightbot will take you to an affiliate link. So we could do assemblers here, but assemblers are big. They require a lot of space. And none of this is being converted into plates yet. It's just iron. So we maybe have to start down low. Is there a list of participating games? Not off the top of my head, Rycross. I don't know. And games that are participating, the percentage of commission to the streamer is different depending on which game. Most of the time it's the same. Unfortunately, it's not cheaper for the people buying the game. It's just a nice kickback for the streamer. I guess I'm at a point now where I don't know what to do with this extra space here. Whether we should continue the building, at which point the building would continue, I guess, probably here. Because I like this thing, and I like the fact that there's sky behind it. So I might want to keep this thing low. I guess having a building there wouldn't be bad. Here we've decided to go all the way to this particular point. So I can at least go this far on that side. That would be the wall, though. So this would be here. And that does not leave a whole lot of space for anything to happen here. This is just more of just like nice juggle room if we need it. But there are all the plates coming out of this that we could use. Basically, we have to do another plate factory, I think. The thing right across about Satisfactory is that it's got a nice long burn to it, so you might as well just take your time. Nice building garages for the truck stops. Yeah, very cool. That's a cool idea. That's the thing that I like so much about it. It's very technical, but it's also very creative as well. Allows you to do a lot of really cool things. I'm just at a standstill because I don't know what building is going to go here, and I need to figure out how many crystal oscillators I'm going to make, and then how many reinforced iron plates I want to make. The reinforced iron plates are not going to use screws. I think we're going to use copper. Maybe I should switch gears and start thinking about my power grid. How are we doing for power here? Yeah, that might be the thing to do. Might be pop down to power. We're at 54 out of 8,000. So 67%. Yeah. Wouldn't mind adding some power to that. Maybe we should start planning the power grid. That or we go up north to the Red Forest. Or I guess that's not north, that's like southwest. Because we don't have the bauxite up there completely buffered. And I have an idea how to do that easily. So that might be worth doing as well. Plus we've got this extra bauxite node that's untapped. Mark Van Funk, subscribe with Prime. Thanks so much, Mark. Appreciate the support. Glad you're enjoying the streams. Be sure to connect your Discord and Twitch accounts if you haven't already. And that way you can join us in the Discord in between streams. Raya, I've been playing a lot of Satisfactory in September. I've really been digging it. Kind of got my head wrapped around it for the most part. Is there a way to save preset colors for the beacons and get a screen like that? Preset colors for the beacons. Like what I have for the gun? No, unfortunately. You can't even copy and paste the data into the beacon colors. The beacon colors don't work like real color software either. You kind of have to just label it all in. I'm not sure what train that was. Thought I saw Mixmaster coming down the tubes. There it is there. You have your beacons color coded, don't you know if you did that manually? Yeah, I did that manually. I just wrote down the colors in I wrote down the colors in a book, like the numbers, and did it all manually. The color gun saves up to 16. I wish it was more. But it's not. But yeah, beacons are all manually stuff. So I take a break every hour for folks that are new to the stream, and it is about that time now. I usually just hop on a train. I thought Mixmaster was coming. Why is Mixmaster going the long way around? That seems strange. Locomotive, that should be Bone Crusher. I'm not sure why Mixmaster goes all the way over here. That shouldn't be a thing. Maybe it's time to fix that roundabout. Kind of hard when we've got trains traveling constantly, but the list of things to do is never ending, unfortunately. Alright, I'm going to grab that break. I step away for about 6 or 7 minutes. Give myself a stretch, reheat my coffee, and you get to ride Mixmaster all the way up into the Red Forest. I will be back in just a minute. Some odd musical choices from Pretzel Rocks, but okay. Alright, so I'm not exactly sure where to go from here. So we're going to go back to the main storage. Well, actually, let's go over to the iron building. Because I want to take a look at how many plates and things we have to make. I might have taken that break a little bit early. It's still dark. So this is all making plates. And I want to take some of these and turn them into reinforced plates. Specifically stitched plates, because we have an alt recipe to use wire to get reinforced iron plates. It uses 10 plates, but it gets us 3 instead of 1, and it means we don't have to use screws. Now for screws, I have an alt recipe for screws, which means I don't need rods. This is fantastic. So that's screws, if we need them, are not a hard thing to do. But what I don't know, if I was to take a look at the Satisfactory website here. So we've got crystal oscillators, which is what we need for making the I think it's the radio control units that we need for the blenders. Pretty sure that's how that works. Let me just look up the blender as well, because the blender is what we need for our fuel production. And to make it, we need motors, radio control units, heavy modular frame, aluminum casing. So we're making everything except for radio control units. And the radio control units require crystal oscillators. And again, we're making everything but the crystal oscillator right now. So for crystal oscillators, the production is, we're going to use the standard recipe, and it needs 2.5 per minute for 1. So radio control unit needs 1. But these are used in all kinds of things, I think. I suppose I should probably center this. Hold on. That's better. These are used in blenders, drones, buildings. Pressure conversion cube, supercomputer alternates, turbo motors. That's why we need these turbo motors. Right. Right. So we're gonna need like probably a dozen or more per minute. This is a guess. So at least 6 manufacturers. So 1.25 times 6. So we're probably going to need to make like 8 crystal oscillators. Per minute, minimum. So that means we're going to need 2.5 times 8 is what? 16, 20? To 20 per minute. That doesn't seem like a lot for reinforced iron plates. How much does one assembler make? And we're going to be using the stitched iron plate. Yeah, we'd take this down to like 5. So we'd only need 4 of these? That doesn't seem right. .5 per minute. Yeah. So I guess we need to make a lot more. Or we could make a lot more crystal oscillators than just 8. Or we could just do it all temporarily. Question would be where, and more than likely we would do it close to where the quartz is being made. Which I believe is right up in there. Well, that's a lot easier than I thought. So we could potentially just have a temporary setup for assemblers to do stitched iron plates. We might be better off to do crystal oscillators over on the other side. It might be easier to do that way. Because the copper setup that we have will need a little bit of fine tuning, but we have a lot of copper ore being turned and smelted over here. All of these are making copper, plus all of these smelters down here are making copper. And we're using some of it is going to aluminum production, but the rest is just going up here and being made into just like temporary items for storage. So we could use this floor to make our reinforced iron plates, I guess. Or we could use this floor to make wire. That's more than likely what we're going to do. And then for something cool, we could have the wire be sent like straight across here in a belt. That could be fun. But the fact that we only need 4 assemblers to make reinforced iron plates is suspicious to me. We're making a lot of plates out of this base level already. Because this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So there's 30 times 20 is 500. 600. Whoops. So 600 plates a minute. And stitched iron plates. I don't know if we need to turn them all into stitched iron plates. So at 88.89, 18.75. It's 16.5. $600 divided by 16.5 is 36 and a bit. So we can do 36 if we make all of these plates into stitched iron plates. But I don't know why we would need that many. Because then we would have 36 times 5. $180 per minute on reinforced iron plates. Alright, so 180 per minute on reinforced iron plates. What else are these used in? They're used in buildings. I'm more interested in what they're used in for automation. Crystal oscillators. Right, modular frames. That's going to be important because I think the frames are something big for later. Yeah, so it's modular frames where we'd probably want to use a lot of these. So having 180 would not be bad because we'd be using up quite a few for crystal oscillators. I don't know if we have an alternate bolted frame. Oh, we do. Right. And it's not like we can't make more iron plates. My gosh, we've got 5 floors of iron to do whatever we want with it. The question just remains, what do we do with the iron that's here? I guess we could just take it straight up to the next floor. The plates, that is. Because this is an okay space. I'm not sure how many assemblers we could fit in here. Not 36, I can tell you that. Well, maybe. That's 5. So we can get 10, no problem. Plus we could put in a second floor. This is only going to be so tall. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm not even sure what the height would be on these things. I should know this from the other stuff we've done. So if we wanted to cut off the lights, which I don't want to do, come in at that level. So if we do 3, that would put us even with this. Which is better than that. And I'd rather have more room on the second floor than misaligned floors. Take it easy, Backbitters. Thanks so much for being a viewer for today. Appreciate it. So yeah, we could totally do this at this height. So let's maybe bring this over here. Cheers. Take care. I needed 36 of these. Would be nice if I could fit 6, but I can only fit 5. 3, 4, 5. Well, I might be able to get 6. We just have to rearrange them so that they're a little bit more even. But then we'd be looking at can't put walls there. Then we can fit 12. We might be able to fit... I don't think we could fit 18. Plus we'd want to load them probably from the same belt. No. I don't see us fitting 18 in here unless we turn them the other way around. This way we can fit 12. What happens if we go the other way? One, two, three, four. These double input ones always take forever to figure out too. One, two, three, four. 1, 2, 3, 4. Don't think we could fit 2 more this way though. So either way, we can only fit 12. And the other way would be a lot cleaner. So my guess is that it's going to be easier to do 12 per floor. But we don't have to worry about all of this stuff because that we can remove. So we could actually have more up here than I'm realizing. Right. So we could potentially have like 48. Although I don't want to put them all in here because we still have to figure out where the iron is happening here. Tricky, tricky, tricky. So this way was the best way to do it. Whoops. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then give ourselves like a foundation of space. Oh, save lag. So there's another row of 12 there, or 6. So that's 12 for that particular bay. We could do the exact same thing above this for 24. But then I don't know where we get the other 12 in here, because I think I'd want to use most of this space for smelting, not smelting, for taking iron and turning it into screws and rods and stuff. So could we do another 12 assemblers down here? And the answer is yes, I think we could. So we could do some of our iron reinforced plate production down below. And then we could have some of our reinforced production over in this wing here. That's probably the easiest thing to do. This is going to be wire. And it was 37.5 times 0.889 something. .88. Thought it was a better number than that. So 33 wire per minute. Anything extra we can send off to storage, that's fine. Ooh, that's not where I want that to be. So we could easily bring our plate export up one of these. More than likely, we will bring it up along this way somewhere. I wonder if we change this so that instead of using this length, we use this length. I wonder how many of these we could fit in this way. How many foundations do they take up? They take up 1 and like 1/8 maybe? Two, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So that's 8. We could fit 9. We could fit 18 up here, which means we don't have to worry about no, then we'd have to do another 18 downstairs. Oh, the planning in this game when you don't know what's coming next. And then up here we'd have to make 33 times 36. So roughly 1,200 copper wire. So that's 40 instructors doing wire. Oh, that'll fit up here because they're only a block a piece. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Yeah, okay. That's easily done. Then we can take the wire over there. So the export of the wire would probably go somewhere around here. Across in that direction. I'd say probably here. Let's temporarily put that in. Probably be a little bit higher. So we just grab like one of these conveyor wells for now. Don't necessarily know if it's going to stay like that, but kind of a fun look. I think more stuff shooting back and across between the buildings is also a cool idea. I mean, alternatively, we could also take it underneath if we wanted to as well. Glad to see the venture home was successful. Will? So it would make sense if we've got to bring copper wire over to this building. It would make sense that we would use as much of this floor as we could for stitched iron plates. It just feels funny to be making all kinds of iron ingots here and not immediately be using this for constructors. Hey, McScrewgun, how's it going? I've not done enough endgame stuff in Satisfactory to know like exactly how many iron plates I'm going to need. Or reinforced iron plates, I should say. I do get the feeling that we should maybe move these awesome sinks, though. It would be nice if I could to not use more than just this one floor for our constructors, or our assemblers rather. There's crystal oscillators we can make down there. Maybe what we should do is leave this space for those constructors and take all of this and move it into its own building. Because we could always take the plates and we could always take the wire and bring it onto the main bus. So we've got all this space here. And move it down this way. And that way we could have crystal oscillators happening on a top floor and the assemblers happening on the floor below. But that just leads to a discussion / decision about how I handle this space. As to whether this is going to be its own building or whether I'm going to mirror the other side. And how it's planned out. Like whether we put a wall here. Because this would be the end of this building here. It's so hard, I find, at this scale to visualize, you know, what you're looking to accomplish. We could certainly use this space for more constructors and stuff. And this doesn't encroach on the road too much. The idea here that this would be a corner, if we decided to expand it and make the base asymmetrical, which I think it already has to be. We could even remove this if we wanted to. Just trying to get a feel for what this would look like. As I mentioned, it would give us these extra bays to do some of the constructor stuff. Because we run out of room up here. There's not really a top floor. Because I do like these angles. Alright, well let's make the decision then to push assemblers into the next floor, or the next building. And I guess for the sake of symmetry, I'll probably heal myself here. We can just have the assembler start in a building that starts at the same spot. I think this is where the quartz is being made. Or the silica, rather. Right, so this would be wall space. So we really didn't start the factory until this line here to my left. It looks like I've marked that out already. So we would start the assemblers in this space, which means we could keep them in a pretty tight formation. And I think I gave myself a fair amount of room here. But I do remember wanting more space for this. So maybe a minimum of 3. Or any kind of like potential bridge as an example. I think I might want to make that a lot bigger. And that does give us some extra wiggle room down below, because we're going to be raising the platform up a little bit. Well, I mean, probably bring it in a little bit lower. Oops. And that sun glaring off those walls is bright. How does that feel if that's pushed back that far, but it goes farther up the way? It does feel like we're leaving a lot of space to be dead space, but I don't know, it kind of... I kind of want this to feel a little bit more open. So I'm imagining this going like up a lot higher and being thicker. this purple part, so don't know how much of this we're going to keep in terms of the outside design. So having the wall be farther back here, and then maybe even again as we get farther down, could be cool. Because here is where it steps back a bit. Yeah, that is like blinding. I feel like that gives us an extra 2 foundations of space. That's probably plenty. And so I hadn't started the building until 2 spots in. Yeah, I think that's probably the safest bet, is to skip these spaces entirely, save those for constructors, and as we need more stuff, we can just build it and send it along, and then we can use this space here, which is much larger and much more open for the assemblers. I can't remember what I just said. Constructors staying in the iron building, assemblers going in the second building. So here in this building we'll stick to constructors, and we'll do assemblers and more complicated stuff in these buildings, because not only do we have more landscape to play with just area wise, we also have the ability to do more creative things like what we did over here. For the aluminum, we were able to do, I think this is 36. I think this is 36 assemblers right here. And I much prefer doing cool stuff like this than just straight up stuff belted on the floor. So we'll try, maybe we'll try to do something like that for our stitched reinforced iron plates. That is, however, where I have to wrap it up for today. It is the end of my day here in Dartmouth. It's time for dinner. But thanks to everybody that decided to hang out today. Really appreciate it. I hope you had a good time. Don't forget to follow on Twitter at Joel Duggan. Follow here on Twitch as well, of course. And check out the Spawn Chunks. It's a podcast I do. It's all free. It's about Minecraft. I do that with Pixel Riffs every Monday. And check out the Citadel Cafe. I just recorded a new Citadel Cafe with Ryan. I haven't edited that yet. That's going to happen probably tonight or tomorrow. So you can expect to see a new Citadel Cafe in your podcast player of choice in the next couple days. Last but not least, check out Patreon. It's the best way to support the stream. You can do that at patreon.com/JoelDuggan. And I really do appreciate it. Y'all have a good night. I'll see you back here tomorrow on Friday, 4 o'clock. For the regular Friday stream. This is the end of September. I really appreciate all the support. We've grown the channel from around 100 subs to up over, at one point we were up over 170. We're holding at 162 right now. I can't thank you all enough. That's a huge increase in support. Hopefully you're all going to stick around. We'll see you in October. But my schedule is going to be going back to normal starting tomorrow. So Friday, Saturday, Sunday, 4, 1, and 1, all PMs, all Atlantic time, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. And then I don't usually get to stream during the week. So the only streams you'll see during the week are maybe art streams, but everything else is going to be tightly back on weekends until we can free up some other goals and see what those look like. But if you're in the Discord, we're going to be talking about that in the town hall. So check that out when you have a chance. Thanks so much for everything, folks. Really appreciate the support. Have a good one. Bye for now.